Hey guys, welcome back to another action figure review. This is part 2 of the Figura Obscura review, this time taking a look at Bastet from the special Four Horsemen Studios release sold as a 2-pack on the official website. The front of the package is detailed with ancient Egyptian art showing off the god Bastet, along with gold lettering and logos at the bottom. The back of the box has drawn artwork of Bastet along with a few paragraphs on the real-life lore of the character, as well as more Egyptian-themed artwork on the back and the credits. A large image of Anubis can be seen on the side, with the other side having artwork of a female statue. Giving off a high-quality product feel, you'll have to tear open the shrink-wrapped plastic to get the figures out of the box. We can now start to remove the magnetic cover of the box. Each magnet holds onto the cover in place firmly, but removes to reveal a full spread of artwork of an ancient temple that can be used as a diorama style background. Now we have the full look of the figure from the front of the box. Featuring an open plastic window, we can see all the accessories on the inside, as well as the character name and series title in gold lettering. Looking at the back, we have unique artwork to the Bastet box. A drawn image of her shrine in her cat form. We can now finally start to remove the figure from its packaging. Opening it up from the bottom, this lets you easily slide out the entire plastic trays. They are stacked onto each other, holding all of the accessories. Continuing with the Figura Obscura line of figures from Four Horsemen Studios, we have another entry into the ancient Egyptian theme, this time with Bastet. The Figura Obscura line was created to allow Four Horsemen Studios to branch out and try making unique figures from literature, mythology, and even holidays, while also staying accurate and faithful to the source material. Here we have the ancient Egyptian god Bastet, a feline goddess of protection, pleasure, and the bringer of good health. Often depicted as a cat, lioness, or woman with the cat's head, Bastet was known for both being a fierce protector, but mostly shown as motherly, shielding from illness and evil spirits. Four Horsemen Studios was careful in recreating all of the accessories from actual real-life artifacts. They were recreated from images of the actual artifacts. Both of the Egyptian-themed figures were sold as an exclusive 2-pack on the official website of the Four Horsemen Studios. Let's take a look at her details. The dark blue feline head of Bastet is adorned with golden jewelry, trimming, and has a smooth stone polish to it. A few details like cracks can be seen in the sculpting of this stone version of the head, with the cat-like nose, mouth, and bright blue eyes detailing the face. The headdress is a bright blue, with more gold trims at the edges, detailed with their own ornate patterns. Over at the side, we have a better look at the cat ears up top, pierced with a golden earring, more gold trims on the inside of the ear, and a better look at that large blue headdress flowing over the shoulders. The back of the head is completely covered by that large headdress, bright blue with a golden trim. The only other detail we see here are the gaps between the headdress strands in the stony cracked texture. Removing the headdress, we have a better look at the collar worn at the neck. Stacked layers of gold with blue and red beads wrap around the neck and shoulders, decorated at the center with a large golden bird spreading its wings under a blue gem. Tan colored cloth is sculpted wrapping around the entire chest and body, with a slightly darker tan wash giving the sculpt more detail and making the cloth look a bit worn in. A detailed pyramid pattern can be seen at the edges of the cloth at the top. The back features the sockets normally seen on all Legion type of figures. While we don't have any accessories to cover these areas up, the sockets are cleverly hidden using gold, making it look like a jewelry or armor worn here. Underneath, the rest of that tan colored cloth wraps to the back here. Long brown slender arms can be seen with a slight bit of muscle tone, with a gold and teal armband wrapping around the bicep. Over at the wrist, we have similar detail in muscle tone, as well as a wrist version of the armband worn here. The hands do have details like small veins, as well as sharp claw-like nails. Looking at the waist, we have a blue woven belt, holding up the golden idol at the center as the belt buckle. A small feline face detailed with blue and black trims, with the rest of the woven cloth hanging down underneath. A large gold trimmed accessory hangs down on top, detailed with more blue and red beads, similar to the collar worn at the neck. The thick woven cloth worn underneath reaches all the way down to the ankles, made out of a real cloth, and posable wires inside. The blue woven belt wraps around to the sides here, holding up more of that thick cloth dress. It's stained with patches of darker tan color, matching the same stains on the wraps of the body. We continue over to the back, finishing up the details with that blue woven belt, with an extra pad covering up the hole in the dress for the tail to stick out of. The tail here fades from a brown skin color into a blue, matching the rest of that woven belt. The completely smooth tail is made of a bendable plastic that has a metal wire in it, and reaches all the way to the ground of the figure. Moving the cloth aside, we have a better look at the thighs, slightly toned in muscles, and with a slightly rough skin texture here. Continuing down to the legs, we have calf muscles sculpted here, along with the green ankle bracelet with gold trims and details. We wrap up the detail of the figure with the feet. Animal style beast feet, fading from that brown skin color into a darker brown. Small cat-like paws are sculpted here, detailed with muscles, large toes, with small black glossy claws at the end of each toe. Let's take a look at the articulation. Taking a look at the new neck for this body, it's mostly wasted with this head sculpt, as it has the giant headdress restricting most motion. Removing the head, we can see the new joint being able to bend forward and back, allowing the head to look up and down. Unfortunately, it's not like the male body that has a swappable neck section. Installing the head without the headdress really showcases off the extra range we get from this new joint. We have shoulders that fully open, but slightly blocked by the neck collar. Elbows that bend inward and rotate around. Wrists that rotate and bend up and down. Reminder that 2.0 bodies do have a ball joint at the chest, allowing some minor crunching forward and backward. 2.0 bodies also have a rotation at the waist. The legs are blocked by the cloth and belt, but can get some great range once you move it out of the way, including opening them up or posing them forward, with the back range that will be blocked by the dress. Now the thighs do rotate, but even after taking the figure apart and loosening them up with heat, they just barely slightly rotate. I assume it's a very tight sculpt. Moving on, the knees bend back and rotate slightly thanks to the sculpt here. Ankles that rotate and bend up and down, with a paw that twist. Bastet being a 2.0 style body means she's using the slimmer style from the Legion figures. Seen here with other 2.0 style figures, we can see that Bastet is just slightly larger thanks to those large paws for feet as well as the head sculpt size. Next to 1.0 style figures, we can see that they're both about even with each other. But again, the height is mostly dependent on the size of the head sculpt and feet. Next to Cosmic Legions, there's only a few 2.0 style figures here, but here we can see that Bastet outshines the size of a normal 2.0 figure. Even next to 1.0 figures without any special parts, she will be taller. Next to a few Hasbro figures in the 6-inch scale, Bastet is a clear winner on height, but it doesn't look too out of place next to these smaller figures. Jada Toys runs on the smaller size of the 6-inch scale, where there starts to be a noticeable gap in size when displaying them next to each other. Next to McFarlane's 7-inch scale, Bastet starts to look more similar in scale and size to this series. Of course, McFarlane likes making their males larger, and even this spawn is about half a head's worth larger than the already large Bastet. Starting off with the accessories, we get an info book filled with details about both Anubis and Bastet, as well as the artifact accessories they both come with. Both books are identical, so feel free to give one of them away. We have a few sets of heads, with this head being the bear version of the default installed head. Another feline head, with the texture of this one resembling flesh, unlike the original stone. And we have that same head, but bear, to use without a headdress. Swapping out the heads on the headdress is simple. You just remove the head from the square socket, and then peg in the new one. Afterwards, it works just like any other head swap. You socket the new head into place. It works exactly the same with the dressless version, but here you're able to utilize more range. We have a full set of hands, starting off with the clawed version of the grabbing hands. A pair of human hands in a clawing position, hands in an open palmed grasping position, a set of grabbing human hands these bending left to right, and the exact same pair, but with the joints bending up and down. The joints are small, but warming them up makes them easy to swap out, and peg right back in. We have a pair of human bare feet, matching the skin color of the figure, and unlike the beast feet, these have a socket for the stand. Thanks to the feet having their own joints, installing this is very simple. You just pull out the legs at the ankle, and they easily pop into place with the large pegged foot. There is a considerable size difference between them, so you might want to take that into consideration when changing them. Pre-installed on the body is the tail of the figure. It's attached to the back with a small socket that easily pops back in through the hole of the dress. The tail does have a metal bendable wire built into it that will keep the position of the tail in place. We come with a historically accurate sistrum, an instrument used to make rattling noises, a tan woven basket, usually seen being held by Bastet, the Aegis of Sekhmet, an artifact with the head of a deity and the large collar. It's usually carried as a decoration or worn on the neck on the smaller versions. We have a large diorama piece, the statue of Bastet, in her feline form. Modeled after the real-life artifact, it stands on a wooded painted base and detailed to match the real statue. We have a set of 3 urns, each with its own unique top, detailed with cracks, hieroglyphs, and can have the tops removed to reveal a hidden space. A small golden idol, detailed with blue trims seen on Bastet's belt. It has a small peg on the back. Another small idol, a winged bird with blue trims and red jewels with the peg on the back as well. We have 2 small artifact stands for these idols. Both idols can be secured to the stand to be shown in a way similar to what you would see in a museum. Four Horsemen Studios have done an amazing job with Bastet, bringing a ton of details into the character, jewelry, and accessories that she comes with. These ancient Egyptian figures really do feel like a passion project from Four Horsemen Studios, with the unique look and feel of these figures to even the accuracy of the artifacts we get. With a premium unboxing experience, that's something that I really didn't expect Four Horsemen to pull off. Usually we have nice plastic trays with the bigger sets, but the magnetic box covers and the clean look to the backgrounds, it really gives the figures a quality feel to them. The cloth goods on the figure blend in very well with the rest of the plastic sculpting, matching the colors and nailing the look. I would say even in-box collectors can appreciate the large open windows, golden lettering, and clean look of the boxes. Packed with accessories, Bastet has 4 heads to choose from, her iconic basket and sistrum, and a ton of artifacts to use as diorama pieces, especially with the included backdrop. Being able to remove the headdress gives the figure a more slim look, and with the smaller 2.0 bodies, we get a better range of articulation than on the bulky 1.0 bodies. The cloth goods having a bendable wire in them lets you keep the poses the way you want, as well as the options of the human hands and feet are available. There's a lot of posing value for Bastet. I am a fan of the new neck joint seen on this body. It's a shame that they aren't swappable like on the 1.0 body, but with such a small space to work with, I can see why they couldn't fit it in. Honestly, it's a very good sign that we are still getting updates to the bodies, as I wasn't a fan of the 2.0 bodies at the start, but they are really starting to shape up now. The metal earrings are a very nice touch to the figure. It's small details like this that really separate Four Horsemen from the rest. I'm really glad to have picked up these figures. Ancient Egypt is a prime example for some great figures to be made out of, and Four Horsemen Studios did an excellent job with this set. We didn't have an extreme stylized version of these figures that we have seen in media, just a simple but accurate and great looking versions of these mythical gods that translated very well into a Legends type figure. The amount of accessories and care for the accuracy is noted, and it all comes through in fine detail in photos and even just displayed normally. The future is looking bright for Four Horsemen Studios. Quality releases like this are starting to become normal when buying Legions, packed with accessories and posing options, and spending a bit more on this set gives us an unboxing experience and a ton of accessories. They're doing a great job. As of this review, the website is already sold out, but I'm sure a restock of the figures being sold individually will happen in the future, so definitely keep an eye out. These are some of the best figures I've had in a while. Alright guys, that's it for this review. Leave a comment letting me know how you like this figure, subscribe, or share this video with your friends to help out the channel.